Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Friday morning to everybody out there. We've got another Victoria story. So this story is uniquely just about Victoria getting accused of trashing an Airbnb last fall. I'm going to share the reel, which shows the actual Airbnb, then this message here from Julie, the Airbnb manager, and what she had to say about Victoria and her crew, who was there from Bachelor Nation, and all that jazz. Now, look, I'm aware this is starting to feel like a pile-on Victoria, so I am going to take Victoria's defense here. I will operate both sides. I will look at the defending Victoria and why this sort of Airbnb owner may have been just overly strict. So we'll get into it. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also going to be live right after this at 10 a.m. Pacific time on patreon.com/Dave Neal, where I've been working on my new project, Bachelor Rush Hour. That's right. It is live now on the Spotify app. It is live on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, and I believe iHeartRadio. And if you have another place that you listen to podcasts, search for it and tell me if it's there. If it's not there, I'll submit the show and we'll try to get it live. Bachelor Rush Hour is going to be a show that I do every day of the week at 5 p.m. East Coast time, right in time for your rush hour commute. It's going to be probably a 20 to 30, maybe 40-minute podcast that's going to have a unique wrap-up of the day's events, not just Bachelor-related, but also entertainment-related. I just released a video on Dave Neal's show that is the Tom Brady going through a divorce with Gisele Bundchen, and we'll have other pop culture news and what's going on in my life. So if you want an audio-only look at what's going down, there's the Spotify link. There'll be a link in the comment section below, which is going to be the link tree, which will have all the different ways you can search. But to be honest, the best thing you do is just type in Bachelor Rush Hour into your podcast app. A lot of people don't know what a podcast is. Maybe you just found me on YouTube. Every single smartphone has one, so find out what your podcast app is. Send me a DM if you don't know. I'll be tech support, and let's get you involved. I'm going to do a special one today. I said I was going to launch November 1st. I'm going to do a soft launch today just to work out any of the kinks. So if you want an episode today delivered to your phone only on audio format, go and search Bachelor Rush Hour where you listen to podcasts. All right, let's get into it. So in order for me to talk about this Victoria story, I am going to have to share the spoilers of what's going down with Victoria, what we know, okay? So let's give you guys a chance. Now would be the time to log off if you don't want spoilers of Bachelor in Paradise. I will say this. If you're on the fence about whether you want a spoiler or not, we don't know for sure what's going to go down. The reunion recap episode will be taped, I believe, next week or in the next couple weeks. So we don't really know exactly what's going to go down. But of course, I broke a story on Saturday that had multiple sources telling me, okay, this is it for the unspoiled crowd. This is your chance to walk away. I had posted a story on Saturday that told me multiple sources that alleged that Victoria has cheated on Johnny. And I didn't know for sure if it was with Greg Grippo, but then we later found out Greg Grippo and Victoria were confirmed to be in Italy. So there's this whole timeline about when things actually went down. And there's also the idea of what cheating is. Is it just crossing the goal line, scoring, going for gold? Is it kissing a Latino, holding hands? Is there emotional cheating, which is just lining up the next guy a la Ari and Lauren when he was still with Becca? He was emotionally messaging Ari, messaging Lauren, being like, "Are you still, maybe we can do something here." You know what I mean? So anyway, that's going to be the big question. So we had Zachary Reality here had posted yesterday, confirmed Victoria never cheated on Johnny ever. And again, it's hard to confirm a negative because even if he has evidence, unless it's almost impossible to know, right? So my response was, my guess is we'll never really know. It's like a plane crash with no black box. And then someone, wrote back, my guy, you literally reported the story that started the rumor. People are going hard after Victoria and Greg, acting like they committed murder or something, and now it's, we'll never know. Well, I never made a story saying they committed murder. I made a story saying multiple sources have told me that she cheated on him. And that doesn't mean I've got hard copy evidence. It means both of my sources, as I said in that video, crossed the threshold that I believe is credible. Those sources are not random people on Twitter. Those sources are people that have either been on Bachelor in Paradise this season or are surrounded by those communities. And of course, people have said, well, Dave, of course, it's going to become a he said, she said. And it's like, well, those rumors have been out there. they haven't been reported by me before, but they've been out there, and others have screen grabs of conversations alleging this as well. But will we get a smoking gun admission, as I mentioned yesterday, a la the Twilight scandal where, gosh, I'm blanking on her name. The star of Twilight cheated on Robert Pattinson, and they caught photos of it. No, we're not going to get photographic evidence. We're not going to get anyone admitting. It's going to be one of those like, we broke up on this day, and all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, you're in Rome with another guy. That's it. That's just all we're going to get. Unless there's more to it, and that'll be a huge breaking story. But, does that mean because there'll be members of the audience that will believe the absolute worst based on information? I don't know. Like, again, if people are going to go hard for them for committing murder, I can't control, fanatical people and what they want to jump to a conclusion, but I can say my sources are credible and they exist in the Bachelor world, and Zach's on the opposite side saying they never cheated, and that's fine too. I just don't think you can say they never did, you know what I mean? Or that cheating never happened, because it's like, it's full of a gray area. Okay, so let's get back into this story. I just wanted to bring that up because, like, I'm not ducking from the story. I just don't think we're going to get much more information out of it. We'll see what they say on the recap show. I will say this. I will talk more about this in the podcast tonight, the Bachelor Rush Hour, that Bachelor producers have sent messages reminding Bachelor contestants to stop talking to people like me and Zach in reality. And in reality, Steve. Those messages have gone out this week. They want people's lips sealed. They don't want to blow anything before the Bachelor recap. As I was told from my sources, and I'll repeat here, they want to save these difficult conversations for the actual reunion show. All right, so anyway, this is what was posted in the Airbnb listing that Victoria Fuller stayed at last year. Victoria and her group used our house as a party pad. They trashed the place, leaving garbage strewn across the floors, stained towels and sheets, wine bottles everywhere. It was so disappointing to have our home treated this way. We would not rent to them again under any circumstance. Now, people were confused because it said joined in 2016. This wasn't from 2016. It's from October 2021. So when you look at the actual listing from October 2021, it places Victoria's TikTok. Now, could it be a different Victoria? I don't know. I don't know if that review was attached to Victoria's account or if it's just a coincidence that a Victoria who drinks a lot of wine, like this clinking right here, is the same Victoria. So here's the TikTok that they made at this beautiful place in wine country, Napa with my people. And you have, I believe, Natasha Parker. You had Chris Randone, Kelsey Weir, and maybe some other non-Bachelor friends were all there. And look. I will take the defense of Victoria and say, if they left a couple towels out, if there was some trash on the floor, is that worthy of a bad review? I don't know. I don't know what they paid in a cleaning fee, but if anybody has ever stayed at an Airbnb, you pay so much money in cleaning fees. I personally know a lot of people are having trouble renting out their Airbnbs as the economy starts to slide right now, because they are very expensive. It's almost easier just to stay at a hotel and not have to deal with the BS of an Airbnb. Again, not everybody, but some people have 8, 12, 15 Airbnbs. You might find that some of them are barely breaking even, and it's because the Airbnb keeps on tacking on these prices. It's not necessarily the homeowner's fault. So we had a couple comments. Someone said, I don't want to be that person, but Airbnb hosts are kind of insane and tend to leave bad reviews for the smallest things and have very unreasonable expectations of cleanliness. And I really think we should just take this random landlord's word on this, especially since they have an Airbnb. Agree. Especially since it's her only bad review. All right, so look, take it with a grain of salt for Victoria. It's her only bad review. Even though I have to pay a cleaning fee, I still don't mind doing dishes and other minor things. The hosts usually aren't the ones doing the cleaning, and the house cleaners do have quite a bit to do, especially with COVID cleaning guidelines and not a huge time frame to do it all. But I've seen some ridiculous requirements, and it seems the ones who ask you to do the most also have the highest cleaning fee. The wind could blow a leaf inside while you're leaving, and they'll say you trashed the place. Look, that does happen. That does happen. I think you should probably, as a standard rule, take out the trash and clean the dishes. I don't think you have to make the beds. I don't think you have to take the sheets off, right? Let them figure out what they want to do with all that. But, if you track in some mud, maybe, clean up, whatever. But of course, there's horror stories. I'm not a homeowner. I don't have an Airbnb, but horror stories. Airbnb host returned to find home trashed after drug-induced orgy. So they found puddles of alcohol and urine, broken glass everywhere. If it ain't about the money, Papa just don't care. Toilets plugged. Okay, so chicken meat in the chute. What? So this isn't Victoria. This is just a story I pulled up that required like a $500,000 renovation. Yikes. Here are some TikToks I found. If you're listening on the podcast, this is probably more of a visual thing. But this is a guy, I remember seeing this guy. He bought a new RV, and the people he rented it to promised that they wouldn't take it to Coachella. I'm sorry, to Burning Man, which is obviously in the middle of nowhere. It's like in some desert in the middle of nowhere. And unfortunately, when he got it back, he saw that it was completely trashed. So I wanted to show you guys this video of all of the damage that was done. Here it is.
RV, and they took it to a place they promised they were not going to go.
Watch this. What a nightmare. This is the outside of the Airbnb. There's tape everywhere. Maybe they tried to tape things so the sand wouldn't get in. But watch when he walks in. Look at this. Caked in sand.
Any guess where these lovely guests went?
Broken eggs on the ground. A fedora on the ground. Just eggs everywhere. Sand. Just destruction.
Rented out our brand new...
So this guy posted a bunch of updates of like, how could this actually happen? Will you get your money back? All those things. Trashed apartments, and then also walked into a trashed Airbnb. You know, and like I said,
asked for a late checkout for 2.
So far, not trash to me. So far, they've got food in the Airbnb and an overflowing trash bag.
Said okay, switch your schedule up.
Couple eggs. All right, some meat thawed out in the freezer.
I know a lot of people in the comments are gonna think this is okay, but this is really not okay. And then we go here, and it's just more and more. And this was not even a week. This was probably a 2-day stay. So yeah.
All right, I wouldn't call this one trash. They didn't take the trash out. I wouldn't call it trash. I would say this falls under the cleaning fee. But of course, it's not the nicest way you could end it. Someone trashed our Airbnb.
Our Airbnb.
Here's another one.
Let's talk about it.
All right, balloons in the corner, not trashed.
Our house rules do not allow balloons or confetti.
Oh. Okay, that's a lot of balloons.
Guests rearranged the furniture and left a huge mess in kitchen.
Okay.
3.
Dishes in the sink.
There was sticky champagne all over the walls. Broken glass on the floor and flower petals everywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to call this one trash. I'm sure between the sticky champagne and the flower petals, that's going to be a pain to clean. That's definitely more than your normal thing. I mean, I don't know. Do you file a claim over that? And here's another one where there's a lot of towels and trash and pizza boxes, meat left out. But I don't know if I would call that a complete trashing. It's definitely messy. It's worth leaving a bad review. Yeah, it's worth leaving a bad review, but it's by all means not horrible. Anyway, so those are a few other Airbnbs. Look, on this one, I'm gonna stay safe rather than sorry. If I had to bet money on who's correct here, the Airbnb host or Victoria, I'm gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if Victoria left the place dirty. But did she trash the place and there's irreparable damage? I doubt that. The only person that has irreparable damage here is probably Johnny. I'm only kidding. Let me know what you guys think. Go to patreon.com/DaveNeal. Leave a comment. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.